welcome back. I am going to be doing some more decluttering today, and today I'm focusing on single eyeshadows. Now, not necessarily single pans, I have all those set up in Z palettes, but what I'm talking about are things like the Super Shock shadows, I can never say them, Super Shock shadows from ColourPop. I have like hourglass ones here, just that kind of thing, things that are already housed in their own containers. And also like eyeshadow pencils or eyeshadow sticks, whatever you want to call them. So that's what I'm going to be taking a look at today. I have counted them and I've forgotten the number. If it wasn't 75, it was 77. I think it was 77. I'm not counting them again because 77. Let's just go with that number. It doesn't really matter. Anything over like 40 is an insane amount. So I'm in insane territory. And honestly, I'm not quite convinced at this point. I'm not feeling optimistic that I'm going to be able to part ways with a lot of them. But I'm going to try. So let's just dive straight into it. I'm not going to do loose pigments. I don't have like a very extensive collection of those, and they take up very little space because I have them all housed in a little acrylic case in one of my drawers. So I'm not too fussed about them. I dig them out every once in a blue moon, but I'm not too worried about them. So let's just tackle this. I have two drawers here. So I talked about this when I did my base makeup declutter, but Cosmetic Archive. This one just has smaller little spaces in there so that it fits these kind of packages a little bit better. And then the other is from my acrylic organizer, and it's just one of the flat drawers from there. In here is all of my ColourPop ones, and then also my Stila liquid shadows. I'm going to start with the eyeshadow sticks. That's what they're called, right? I mean, they're sticks in their eyeshadow. Eyeshadow stick? Why do I think there's something different? It doesn't matter. Eyeshadow sticks. That's what I'm calling them. Okay, right away, I can tell that these three I am going to get rid of. These were from that somewhat misguided Crayola launch that happened last summer, I believe it was. I have really never gotten around to using them. Aspen used them once and she told me that they smell like farts. So that's not exactly inspiring. Maybe like fruity farts? Like there's like a definite fruity scent, but also like a bit of a chemical smell. Not liking that. And even just like the colors are pretty. The colors are really pretty, but running it along my hand, especially on that green, you might be able to see it. It picks itself up and it just doesn't apply smoothly. So the bronze one is actually not bad. That one's probably the best out of the three. I'll hold on to the bronze one for now, but these two I'm going to send on their merry way. So I got a Charlotte Tilbury one here in one of those like Sephora favorites kits, and I really quite like this one, so I don't want to get rid of it. It's just a really pretty sparkly champagne-y color. My problem is like I really like the colors of these, but I just don't use them very often. And I think it's also because they're at like the back of the drawer, so that's why I'm kind of going through this whole process, is to just clear some stuff out so that I can reorganize. And if they are front and center, there is a much better likelihood that I'm actually going to use them. Out of sight, out of mind is a real thing. Okay, I went a little bit ham on these ones here. These are from a brand called Gosh, and I don't think they sell Gosh anymore. At least they don't in Canada. They cleared them out of Shoppers Drug Mart, so I don't know if the company's still around, but only in certain countries or what's going on. I have a sneeze tickling my nose. I really liked these because they had really good lasting power, but I don't use them all. So I'm gonna just swatch all 6 of them and see what colors there are and see if there's any that I think I might use. Oh, that one just came right out of the package. That's not good. All right, so there they are. And of these, I'm going to keep this more pewter color here, and well, I was going to keep this one, but it's really similar to the Charlotte Tilbury, and the Charlotte Tilbury is like 2 years older, or newer, sorry. So I'm just going to keep that one and let the rest of them go because they have been kicking around forever, and like I said, I just don't use them. So then that leaves two left. One is from Laura Mercier, and this is in the shade Amethyst. It's so pretty. And then the other one is from Sephora. It's actually a jumbo liner, but I use it as an eyeshadow, and it's in the shade Purple. They'd actually probably look really good together, to be honest. So there they are. The darker one is the one from Sephora. I'm going to keep both of those, especially since fall and winter is fast approaching. So these shades just kind of scream sweater weather to me. And that is the most wonderful time of the year, in my opinion. So there we go. That's good. I got rid of 7 and I kept 5. So that's good. We're off to a good start. Yay! Okay, quickly, I have 2 pigments from Milk. And again, these are ones that I just don't use very often, but when I do, I always kind of question why I don't use them more often because they're so pretty. I'll just quickly put them on my hand and then show them to you. I think we're going to be here for a long time with all the swatching that I'm doing, but there they are. And these lock down and do not budge all day. They don't crease, they don't flake, they don't do anything you don't want them to do. They're fantastic. So the pinky one is After Party, and then the other one is Peep Show. And I'm gonna keep both of those. The plan is to put those products and the pencils where I can see them and reach them so that I remember to use them. So then I just have like a bunch of little singles in compacts, and I could depot them. My Z palettes are currently full and I have them all set up in like a spectrum, so I don't want to go effing around with that just yet. I might buy another one at some point, but the problem is that when I have a ton of space available in a Z palette, I feel compelled to fill it. And then I go and I buy stuff, and then I have to declutter. Does anybody else feel my struggle? It goes against logic, but it is what it is. There are some off of the hop that I'm absolutely not going to get rid of. So the chrome paints from Tarte, I've talked about them a gajillion times, and they're so beautiful. I love them so much. So this one is Top Yacht, and it's just a really pretty gold. And then I also have, what is this one called? Frosé. And it's like a peachy gold. It's got a little bit of a shift to it. And then most recently I picked up their purple one. It's in slightly different packaging, but it's in the shade Unleashed. There. This one's probably my least favorite of the three, but it's still very pretty. There. So I'm definitely keeping all 3 of those. Then I have some other products that are very similar to that, and again, I don't feel compelled to get rid of them. So one is from Lise Wattier. This is in the shade Sunrise Peach. Is that right? Yes, Sunrise Peach. It's one of their Ombre Soufflé Supremes, and it has a very silky feel to it, and it's incredibly lightweight. There's no heft to that product at all, but it's just, it gives this beautiful wash of sheen and color, and again, it lasts all day. So I'm keeping that. What I'm wearing today is from Giorgio Armani. It is one of the Eyes to Kill. It's in the shade number 6 Lune, and it's like a rusty sort of, not rusty, like a dirty olive kind of shade. So, I mean, you can see it, you're looking at it. I think these are discontinued, but I'm not gonna get rid of it because I love it. And then I have another one, and it's from Hourglass. It's one of their Scattered Lights in the shade Aura. And this one is sort of reminiscent of the Lise Wattier one in that it is incredibly lightweight and more on the subtle side. So that's the Lise Wattier there, and that's the Hourglass. I actually just picked up today one from Natasha Denona, and it is one of their Chroma Crystal top coats in metal black. Let's go ahead and swatch that. And I wouldn't say that it's black per se, but a really, really deep gunmetal. I have two L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadows. I have Amber Rush and Glistening Garnet, and I have had these, oh gosh, I've had them since well before I had my channel, like probably an embarrassingly long time, years. So I don't know. I mean, they still feel really smooth, or at least the Garnet one does, but I just never reach for them. And like Amber Rush is just such a beautiful all over the lid shade. So there is Amber Rush there, and there's the Glistening Garnet. I have other shadows, like the chrome paint kind of acts like the same as Amber Rush. It's just a really pretty, almost like a rose gold kind of color. But the other one is more like a champagne. Okay, I am going to compromise with myself. I'm going to keep Amber Rush. And the next time I declutter, and you guys can hold me to this, the next time I declutter, if I haven't used it by then I need to part ways with it. But I am going to part ways with the Glistening Garnet because I just don't use it. Along the same lines as the Glistening Garnet is this one from Stila. It's the Vivid and Vibrant eyeshadow duo in Garnet. And I really had high hopes for it. It has like a more sparkly side and then a more subtle side. But they're just, it's an underwhelming product. I really should have just returned it. I don't know why I held on to it. Same, pretty much exact same color. You know what though, now that I do this, maybe I take back what I said. Why did I just like this? It's beautiful. There you see them on the hands. You can definitely see the difference there. Like they're both shimmery, but like that top one has little micro flecks in there. Why didn't I like this? I surprise myself sometimes. I am going to hold on to that one. Maybe I didn't like the way it wore during the day. I honestly can't remember. That is the hazard of having too much makeup, is that you just don't remember what you have and you don't remember if you like it or not. So, okay, I'm going to hold on to that one and we'll see. We'll put it to the test again. Sugar Pill Lumi. I think this is a loose powder. It's just sitting in here. Yeah, it's just like one of those like iridescent shades that it can change anything that you put under, like you put underneath it. I don't know why I swatched there. That's a thoroughly awkward swatch. But it's just, it's so beautiful. Yeah, I have to keep that one for sure. I have two from Kat Von D. These are the Metal Crush. I have Thunderstruck and I have Lolita. And these are ones that I should probably depot just so that I get a bit more use out of them. When things like go to live in drawers, I just never think of them. And I mean, I'm not the hugest Kat Von D fan. I think I've made that abundantly clear. But these two are effing stunning. So I don't want to get rid of them. I have a green shadow here from the brand called Estate. It's in the shade Shmoney. I'm pretty sure I got this in an Ipsy bag. And the color's pretty, but it's honestly nothing to write home about. Like, it is pretty, I'll give it that, but I have other greens that are a little bit more impactful that I would reach for over this all the time. So I'll find that one a different home. The NYX shade in Mermaid. This one can be so beautiful. And I don't know why I don't use it more often, because it is just this like, it's like an ethereal mint, if you will. There it is here, and it is very, very pretty. So again, if I can find room in my Z palette, this is one that I should depot and put in there so that I see it more often. But I'm going to keep it for now. Next up is a single from Lancome, and this is in the shade All That Glitters, number 505. And I just really have always loved this one, and I have had this for a long time, like an embarrassingly long time, like 4 or 5 years, maybe. There it is on the bottom. And it's just this like beautifully reflective gunmetal kind of shade, but it's so old. It's so nice, so balance, right? It's one that I save all the time, and then I just never really end up using it. And now that I have that Natasha Denona, like they're not quite the same shade, but the same idea. I have the feeling I would reach for the Natasha Denona over this one. No, they're not even remotely close. Natasha is much, much deeper. You can see there's the Natasha and there's the Lancome. Oh, what the hell. I'll hold on to it. 2 NARS singles. I have Dion and Himalaya. I don't know. Let's see. Again, these are 2 that I always like think that I'm going to declutter and then I save at the last minute. So the bottom one is Dion and the top one is, I think it's Himalaya. I don't know. I'm going to keep Dion, and then I'm going to part ways with the other one. And then we'll get into the Super Shocks. Now, I do have a swatch video on my Super Shocks from probably about a year ago, and I really haven't added much to the collection since then, with the exception for sure of these 3. So I will swatch these 3, but the rest of them will just be here for far too long if I do. So I'm just going to go through some of the ones that I would like in my decision making. I'll swatch, but I'm not going to spend a year doing this. Okay, definitely going to keep Frog. Definitely keeping I Heart This. I Heart This is my absolute favorite. I also really like So Quiche, and I've hit pan on that one. It's just this like olive kind of tone that has a bit of like a purple shift to it. And it's one of those shades that I get a lot of compliments on just from random strangers. Like people are like, oh, I like what's on your eyes. What is that? I'll show you quickly. This one is I Heart That. It's like a super metallic pewter kind of shade. And then Frog doesn't look all that great. Oh, it does now because I've worn it out. It came a little bit smashed, but it's just like a nice pink metallic shade. Okay, now for the rest of these. I'm just going to do a quick little sort through. I'll show you what I'm getting rid of and I'll show you what I'm keeping, but you don't need to watch the top of my head as I'm sorting through them. So I'll be right back. All right, all sorted out. I don't have everything swatched on my hand, but I do have a good number of them. So I'll show you what I can. Okay, starting with what I'm getting rid of. So this one is in the shade I Like You, and it's this really light orangey metallic shade there. The deeper orange underneath it is in the shade Monkey Business. I'm going to part ways with that as well. I just have single pan shadows that are a little bit more impactful, more pigmented than this one, and I find the mattes a little bit tricky to work with. The other 2, so the green shade here is, what is it called? Empire, and then Banana Daiquiri is this one right here. They look pretty, but both of them are fairly dried out in the pan, so they're a little bit difficult to work with and a little bit crumbly. It's not on my hand, but I do have a purple shade here, Dare, and it is also quite dried out. Some of them are doing great and some of them are just not up to snuff. Oh God, I'm confused what I'm keeping and what I'm getting rid of. Okay. Okay, I have to just quickly swatch this one. Okay, that purple one is the one that I'm keeping. That's the purple that I'm keeping. Okay, so this one, Dare, I'm keeping. Holy crap. What else am I getting rid of then? Good Lord. I just completely did it all backwards here. Okay. Is it on my hand? No. So the purple that I am getting rid of is Lace. It's a darker purple. I'm also going to get rid of the matte lilac in the shade Daddy. If I want a lilac, I'm going to use my Clionadh Cosmetics one because it's so much more blendable than the matte Super Shock shadows are. Hammered I'm going to get rid of because it's a deep olive green, much like the one I'm wearing right now, and I just like that one better. So it's parting ways. And then Don't Leave, sorry, but you're gonna, because you can see, like, when I say they get like dried out in the pan, that's kind of what I'm talking about there. It just gets all like cracky and flaky, and it's weird because I have other ones that I've had longer than this one and they're doing fine. I'm also going to get rid of Fizz because, again, I have single shadows in the pan. It's just like a bright lime green. Now I'm a little bit torn. I think I am going to keep it because it does apply very pretty. So this, if you can see it down here, underneath that dark blue, there's like a sparkly pink, and it is a Jelly Much shadow, or at least it used to be, in the shade Close to You. It's all falling apart. It dried out in like 3 months, maybe 4, but now it has the consistency of the Super Shock shadows. So it's a little bit more difficult to work with, but it still has good pigmentation and it's still really pretty, so I'm going to keep that. The two that I said I would swatch, one of them, I don't know which order I'm going to get all these videos up, but it was in my Strawberry Fields, or yeah, Strawberry Field collection video. If I haven't posted it, it'll be up later. Again, it is a Jelly Much, so you can see how they start out. They do look wet, and this one's in the shade Strawberry Jelly. There, it's really pretty. And these Jelly Muches, they really are nice. Like, they do last a very long time on the eyes, but apparently they don't last a very long time in the pan. And then the other one is the, it's called Birthday Treat, and this was free in celebration of their birthday sometime earlier this year. And it's really pretty. So then in total, I've gotten rid of 9 of those and I've kept 14. That's good progress. I also have a ColourPop loose one in Baby Rue. I don't know what my issue with loose powders is. Every time I wear it, I think it's really pretty. It's just that I only wear it like once every 9 months. So it is really pretty. I keep swatching in like the worst possible spot. I'm going to keep it. It's unlike anything else that I have, so I'm going to keep it for that reason. Okay, now I'm going to move on to the Stila liquid eyeshadows. I have 10 full-sized and I have 8 mini samples. So I'm going to, again, do the whole swatch thing, sort through it on my own, and then I'll come back and let you know if there are any that I'm actually willing to part with at this point. So hang in there. This is tricky because these are so beautiful, but there are definitely some that I don't use, and there are definitely some that are starting to go, like, dry out quite a bit. So, okay, let's start up here. So these are the 2 newest ones that I have, and they are the suede shade ones, the matte ones. So the green one is in the shade Enchanted Earth, and the gray one is Smoky Silk. And I will definitely be keeping both of them. I just find that they're really easy to work with, and I just love the colors. I don't have anything else like them, so they've earned their spot. We'll talk quickly about the jewel toned ones here. So there's the Sapphire and Emerald. So the blue one is called Vivid Sapphire, and the green one is Vivid Jade. And again, I'm going to keep both of those. This sparkly shade right here I am going to part ways with. It is similar to some of the other ones, and I don't need a multitude of the same shade in this kind of product. Then I've got a bunch that I'm going to keep. So the one on my knuckle here is Wanderlust, and it took me forever to be able to find that one. And as soon as I did, I was like, yep, you're coming home with me because you're beautiful. And then down here, this like iridescent one is from their Little White Lies collection, and it is Mint Myth, and it's super pretty, like super pretty. The purpley shade above it, right in here, is Secret Cove, and I'm going to keep that as well. And then as well, the one beside it, I'm losing them, right here. This one has like a little bit of a duochrome aspect to it. It's in the shade Cloud, and I'm keeping that. I am gonna part ways with Bohème. It's one of their shimmer and glows. The shimmer and glows are hit or miss. Cloud is a shimmer and glow as well, and that one I really do like. Some of them are a little bit not so great. This one looks super pigmented, but in terms of the color, it's close to Cloud, but Cloud is prettier. So the one I'm talking about here is this one up here, Bohème. Okay, Twig is this really deep copper shade here. It's very pretty. I literally never use it. I really can't see that it would do anything for my eyes or be super flattering on, so maybe somebody else will. I am going to keep Diamond Dust, which is that super sparkly silver one beside it. The red beside it is the shade Next to Not, and it's really dry in the tube, so while it's pretty on the hand, it's too dry. Then this one over here is Kitten. Again, it's really dry in the tube, and it's also just patchy and crumbly and cracking on my hand, so I don't need that on my eyes. The next two, so yes, this one here and this one here. This one is Smoldering Satin, and this one is Peachy Sheen. Peachy Sheen is, did I just point to the right ones? Yes, yes, yes. Peachy Sheen is really spotty and spotchy. Splotchy? Patchy, holy. Smoldering Satin is like super glittery, but it's really dry in the tube, so there's that. And then I am going to keep the next two. So this one here and then the one beside it. So Kitten Karma is the first one, and then Smoky Storm is that one. So in total, I've gotten rid of 5 of the mini-sized and 2 of the full-sized, and that just makes this a little bit more manageable for me. That leaves me with 3 more products. So one is from Incredible, and it is one of their eye pigments in the shade Dose of Ego. It's this beautiful cobalt shade. I would prefer if it was a little bit creamier, but it is completely workable, and once it is on, it locks down, and it is actually rather difficult to remove, but it's just so vibrant and beautiful that it is going to continue to live with me. Next is from Tarte. This is one of their Rainforest of the Sea liquid oh my god, liquid eyeshadows in the shade Sweet Life, and I'll just put it over here. Just a really pretty glittery job there. It looks very much like the ones on the back of my hand. In fact, I'm just going to swatch it on my knuckles to see if it looks really close to anything. Not really, to be honest. Which kind of surprises me, but it's not super close to them. It's like Peachy Keen, but far more consistent, so I'm going to keep it. It's fairly much, like pretty much brand new. And then the last one is from Touch and Soul, and this is one of their dual-ended Metalist and Glitter. So this shade is a mystery. I have no idea. No idea. Why is it not written on here what the name of this damn thing is? Anyways, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It is super old, and it is dried to hell in there. It still applies nicely, but It's all like separated and chunky on the one end. And I haven't used it like in ever. Like I have not used it in the longest time. It was really pretty. I did really like it at the time. Yeah, the glitter part doesn't even come out. It's so dry. It's old. It's a shame, but like it's just super patchy there. The color is beautiful, but it just is past its prime. That makes the decision easy then. Okay, so that concludes this portion of the declutter. I feel really good about that because I love seeing like empty space in the drawer, because that just allows room to shuffle other things around and just free up space. I would like to get my desktop as clear as possible. You guys can't see it, but there's just shit everywhere. And it just gets overwhelming and then I just don't enjoy it. It's just stressful. So doing this process. Okay, thank you for taking the time to watch. I will see you in my next video. Until then, just be a decent human being. Okay, bye for now.